The newest body cam has been released showing the officers stepping into the Hackman residence, and it certainly provides an intimate portrait, a sad, tragic portrait nevertheless, of the victim, certainly Betsy, who's lying on the ground, one of the dogs lying very close to her. But also one gets a sense just of the messiness of the home, and one also gets a sense that of a very lived-in home as well. And then the officers go to another part of the residence where Gene Hackman was found, obviously quite far away from Betsy. And the officers actually make a point to say, is that the smell of gas, which I think is also quite interesting.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't feel. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
Hello and welcome to True Crime Rocket Science. Well, some new body cam footage has just been released.
It is unprecedented for the Office of the Medical Investigator to make public statements about death investigations. However, the circumstances surrounding these two deaths require accurate dissemination of important information.
And it really is unprecedented. This is really lightning fast results, and I would say in a certain sense premature. I don't know if they can rule on the toxicology accurately this early on. In any event, in this analysis, I want to talk about some of the new information that has come about as a result of the body cam, but also information surrounding this rat infestation, which can possibly help the rest of us. Before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Look out for the next episode regarding the Madeleine McCann case. I'll also be doing a live stream on the last day of the prosecution's case. Look out for that, and possibly the first day of Lori Vallow's defense. Will she put herself on the stand? Well, we're about to find out. If you're finding this analysis worthwhile, please hit the thanks button and let's get started.
Newly released body camera video shows the confusion and questions investigators had after the couple was found dead in their home. News 13's Marilyn Upchurch is in the Newsplex with more.
A Hollywood legend and his much younger wife decide to withdraw from public life and live privately. What could go wrong? Well, nothing for a spell. But with the slow creep of time, that insidious thing that sneaks up on everyone and everything eventually takes its toll. Neglect. And by the way, I wrote the script before actually seeing this footage of the inside of the home. There's a saying, what you resist persists, but also what you neglect persists. And the trouble is, the thing you resist, you're resisting. The real danger is the thing you don't know about. So the question is, did Betsy know about the rats? Well, let's take a look. According to CNN, New Mexico Department of Public Health records revealed findings of dead rodents and rodent nests throughout 8 detached outbuildings on the late actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa's property. Now, when you look at the interior of the house, you do get a sense that it would be easy to miss this sort of thing, and also the sort of environment that rats would like. There's papers all over the place, piles of books all over the place, blankets all over the place. If there were nests, probably there were rats scratching around, and what that house really needed, if you ask me, was a cat. But with 3 big dogs, a cat might be a little jumpy. The article goes on to note the homesite environmental assessment of the sprawling property was conducted in March, 1 week after Hackman and his wife were discovered dead in their home. Arakawa died from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. That's a rare disease that humans can contract from contact with rodents. Now, that to me is an insight here. It's a rare disease, and yet this is apparently what happened to Betsy. Is that really what happened, or was that a complicating factor? News that has just come out is that Betsy was actually Googling the symptoms of COVID just before she died. That came up on her browser history. So she was clearly in some kind of distress and I guess misdiagnosed herself. Of course, there's also evidence that even the officers entering the residence thought they smelled gas when they entered. and that was their original thought when they went in. But you can get hantavirus from rodents, rodent feces, saliva, and urine, and that's according to the New Mexico Medical Investigator's Office. Now, the most obvious places for Betsy to have picked up the virus was inside the garage, an area not typically kept as clean as one's own living quarters. But according to the report, rodent feces were found in 3 garages and 3 sheds as well. A live rodent, dead rodent, and a rodent nest were found in the 3 detached garages. So they were all over the place. Now, it's also possible, though perhaps less probable, that the virus could have transferred from the rats to the humans via the dogs. The New Mexico Department of Health conducted the risk assessment on March 5th as part of the death investigation of Hackman and Arakawa. The risk of exposure in their primary residence was low, according to the state public health veterinarian Erin Phipps. The report said it showed no signs of rodent activity and was clean. And this may be the reason why Betsy was exposed and not Hackman, because Betsy was going into the garage, whereas Hackman wouldn't. Rodents were also found inside 2 vehicles. This suggests the rodent problem wasn't slight, but something of a plague. Besides the garages and sheds, the other 8 buildings on the property were accessible to rodents as well. In 2 vehicles on the property listed as a working or abandoned vehicle or farm equipment, so it's not clear if it was something that they were regularly using, there were also sightings of rodents, a nest, and feces. Investigators also found live traps in the buildings. Now, that I think one wants to emphasize. The fact that there are live traps suggests that Betsy, to her credit, was aware of the rats and was waging a sort of war with them, a war that she would tragically lose. It's quite horrific if you think about it, that this couple are living somewhat blissfully, somewhat happily ever after on this expansive property. They got the place to themselves, but while this is going on, there's a rat infestation. And there's an aspect to that rat infestation that could be lethal to these elderly residents. Did you know there's currently no specific treatment for the hantavirus and symptoms, which present as flu-like at the beginning and may take up to 2 months to show up, according to the CDC. So it is probably worth taking precautions if you've got some kind of rat plague or rat infestation in your property, or even if you just have, you know that you do have rats, maybe at the very least invest in a cat. I think if you are going to sort it out, maybe you need proper people to come and clean up the situation. I don't know if one wants to do it personally and directly, given the risks involved. Anyway, thank you for listening. Look out for my live stream on the Lori Vallow case, and I'll see you guys next time.